How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ethan Bridge. I'm host of the Social Media Marketing School podcast and the guy behind the Instagram page at The Marketing Ethan. Today, I want to talk to you about 3 different Instagram engagement strategies. They are 3 of my favorites, 3 of which I have used throughout my journey so far, and 3 that I've seen great success from. So I'm a huge advocate for all of these, and I can't wait to share them all with you. But before I can actually tell you about these 3 different engagement strategies, I feel as if it's important for you to know why engagement is so important and how it corresponds with the Instagram algorithm. Because I say it time and time again, and I'll continue to say it time and time again. When you are first starting an Instagram page, your engagement strategy, in my opinion, is arguably more important than the content you are actually posting. And I'll explain that. Because at the end of the day, your content does have to be of a certain level of quality because that is what people follow you for. But what good is that content if nobody's seeing it in the first place? It's pretty much useless if nobody is seeing it. So in order to actually get those eyeballs on your content, you have to seek out your audience initially. You can't expect people to come to you. Nobody knows who you are. The algorithm doesn't know who you are. And if the algorithm doesn't know who you are, it's not going to rank you on hashtags. It's not going to push you to the explore page, and your account won't be pushed in the suggested for you tab. So you have to really work in the beginning and engage. And when I say that, you should be engaging for at least 3 hours a day. Straight up, it may sound like an extremely long time, but that's what you've got to do. That's the amount of work you're going to have to put in if you want to get your account off of the ground quickly and experience that quick growth in the beginning. If you just post a picture, leave it, and hope it gets views from hashtags, your account's never going to grow, ever. So you need to be engaging as much as you possibly can when you first start your account. Now, why is engagement actually so important? How does it correspond with the algorithm? Now, the algorithm is a very hot topic at the moment. Obviously, The Social Dilemma is out on Netflix. It's what everyone's talking about. So the word algorithm is something that's being seen as slightly controversial at the moment. But what you've got to understand is the algorithm is essentially what makes Instagram their money. Instagram makes their money through showing ads on their platform. Now, the longer it can keep people on the platform, the more ads it can show. The more ads it can show, the more money it can charge its advertisers. So that's all the algorithm wants to do. All the algorithm wants to do is keep you on the platform. Now, when you backtrack this, you need to be thinking about, right, how does the algorithm select the content that it's going to push to people to keep them on the platform? It's going to look at the amount of engagement each piece of content is getting, because the amount of engagement each piece of content is getting is the indicator to the algorithm of the level of quality of that piece of content. If it's got no likes, no comments, no shares, and no saves, it's not going to be pushed to that wider audience because it's rubbish. But if it's got tons of likes, tons of comments, tons of shares, and the most important one, saves, then it's going to be pushed to the explore page. It's going to rank on the hashtags because the algorithm knows it's a great piece of content. Because if it has lots of engagement, the algorithm knows that people are spending time on it. And when they're spending time on it, they're staying on the platform. And when people stay on the platform, they can charge more money to their advertisers. So that is why engagement is so important. And if you want to increase your engagement on your account, you have to give that engagement in the first place. And that's why your engagement strategy is so important, especially when you first start. So now you know the relationship between engagement and the algorithm and why it's so important, we can now begin to talk about my favorite engagement strategies to get your account off the ground and get you working with that Instagram algorithm. So strategy number 1, and if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk, you would have heard this one before. It's the infamous $80 strategy. Now, if you haven't followed Gary Vaynerchuk and you have no idea who he is, then you're probably thinking, what the hell, $80? What is that? But don't worry, I am going to explain it. So the $80 is basically this overall value you want to reach. And every single comment or piece of engagement you have with someone, that counts as your 2 cents. 2 cents as in 52 cents adds up to $1. 2 cents as in the currency. That is what each engagement counts as. So in order to reach $80, you have to be engaging 90 times a day. If you engage 90 times a day, every single day, and I mean every single day, you can't just do this every now and again, you will see phenomenal growth. But this engagement, I must stress, cannot be a fire emoji, great post, exclamation mark. Nothing along those lines. You may as well not be commenting at all if you are engaging like that. Trust me, people do it on my page. I take no notice whatsoever. I don't even reply most of the time. No one's going to click onto your profile because you're not interesting. You're adding no further value to the post whatsoever. Don't post at all if you're going to do that. Instead, you need to be genuine. You need to take note of what the people have been talking about in their piece of content. You need to talk about something like this. Hey, this was a great post about topic, whatever they did. I particularly liked your point you made about blank. Something that you have picked out from the post, you can then put that into the comment section there. And then you can go, in my personal experience, blah, 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 I did this. That shows that you have really, really consumed their content. And then you're adding further value. That might increase your chances of getting a pinned comment as well. If you have been on Instagram recently, this is a new thing that they have introduced. Pinned comments are when creators can actually pin 3 comments to the top of the comment section. So their 3 favorite comments, and they will show up at the top of the comment section for every single person that comes and look at that post. So if you are being completely genuine with your comments and providing as much value as possible, then you increase that chance. So not only are you gaining exposure through just commenting in the first place, you have that chance of actually being a pinned comment, and as a result, you may get even more page views. Especially, imagine if you got pinned to Gary Vaynerchuk's post. He has 8.7 million followers, something around that range. You would have that opportunity to be exposed to millions of people just through being pinned on his post. So be as genuine as you can with your engagement. No fire emojis, no strong arms, no great posts, no I love this. Pure, genuine engagement. That is where you see the results. That is where you will succeed. So that's the $80 strategy. You need to be commenting or engaging whatever you want to do at least 90 times a day, every single day. That is 90 times 0.02, your 2 cents, $80. The $80 strategy introduced to us all by the man himself, Gary Vaynerchuk. So that was the first strategy you could implement. If you didn't like that, don't worry, I've got 2 more for you. So let's jump into the next module where I give you strategy number 2. So we are now going to be talking about strategy number 2, and I like to call this one the 10 times 2 strategy, because you're going to be following 10 different things on 2 different topics. Now, that may sound confusing right now, but let's jump into my computer where I can tell you a little bit more about this strategy and actually walk you through how to do it. So the 10x2 strategy, let's dive in. The 10x2 strategy may sound like some complete gibberish to you at the moment, but don't worry, I am going to explain it. So the 10 accounts for the fact that you are going to be following 10 different things in each of these 2 categories. You see it? 10x2. So you've got creators and hashtags. These are your 2 different categories. And within each, you are going to pick out 10 different creators and 10 different hashtags. Now, you may be thinking, okay, where do I find 10 different creators in my niche? If you look at my niche, for example, I am within social media marketing. Now, you only need to know one big creator within your niche to begin with, to then find others. So I know for a fact Dave Talas is a big creator within the social media marketing niche at the moment, 152,000 followers. So he is a great person to engage with, because if I get his pinned comment on one of his pieces of content, or I get high likes, I go to the top of the comment section, then people are obviously going to be exposed to my page. So he is a great person to begin with. But if I click this down arrow here, you can see other people that are closely related to his content. Now, I already follow all of the other big pages. But this for you, if you don't follow them already, will show up with all of the other larger creators within your niche. Now, I know personally the other creators that are large, as I mentioned, so I've already noted these down in my notes section. So if I head back here, you can see here, I've got Dave Talas, the Harry Needham, Marketing Harry, Danny Allen, Christo Nikas, and I can just click through on all of these. And when I need to engage with them, all it takes is a click. It takes me through to their page. I can engage accordingly. So actually having these different creators noted down saves a lot of time. You can just click on one, engage twice, click on the next, engage twice, and go through step by step. So a good way to find all the web links is obviously to go over on the Instagram web page and do this. You can then copy and paste them into your notes, which will then obviously go onto your phone if you are on iPhone. And then you can just click through on the link and it will take you, when you're on your iPhone, to the page on the app that you need to go to. So that is how you find your creators. So you can see there, I have 10 different creators listed. So when I want to engage with my 10 different creators, I will then just click through on those. Now, hashtags. Do the same for hashtags. Now, to find hashtags, again, you can just go onto people that you follow and you can see which hashtags they are using. I know Lucas here is quite a large creator in my niche. If I click on more, I can see the hashtags that he uses. Obviously, if I go on these hashtags, there will be other content creators within my niche. I can engage with those hashtags, and those hashtags will be great for growth for my account. So if I can just copy and paste 10 different hashtags within which he is using, that's a great way to find hashtags within your niche and those which you engage with. So again, what have I done? I've headed over to the web page for each of these hashtags, for example, social media expert, copy and pasted the link, headed back to Word, and there we have it. We have 10 different hashtag links. So now we have our 10 different creators and 10 different hashtags. Now, what does the 2 stand for? The 2 stands for the fact that each time we engage with either one creator or one hashtag, we are going to engage 2 times. 2 times. So there we have it. We have 10 different creators, we have 10 different hashtags, and each time we engage, we're going to be engaging twice. 10x2. So now, how do you structure this piece of engagement? Now, I split it up into different timings. So at 8 a.m., I will engage with the 10 different creators. And then at 10, the hashtags. 12, creators. 2, hashtags. 4, creators. You get it. And it's nice to break it up between these 2-hour chunks because it doesn't then feel as tedious. If you were to just sit here and engage for hours upon hours upon hours, you would just get frustrated. You'd get bored. Your engagement would become lethargic and it just wouldn't be as effective. Whereas if you split it up into different sections, every time you come back to engage, you're feeling refreshed and you're ready to engage with value and genuine engagement. So I split it up between 2 different hours, but if you can see here, we are having 8 different periods where we're actually doing this. And within those 8 different periods, we are engaging 20 times. So that totals to 160 pieces of engagement within a day. Now, that is way more than the $80 strategy that I made before, but it may feel like much less, and it may be much less strenuous on you because you already have these processes in place where you've got everything saved and you can just click through. So this, I would probably say, is more effective than the $80 strategy because you're getting 70 more pieces of engagement per day, and it may not feel like you're putting in as much effort because you're doing it over a more prolonged period of time. So there you have it, the 10x2 engagement strategy. This is one of my favorites, so it's definitely one that you should be implementing. So moving on to strategy number 3, the final strategy that you guys can implement as your engagement strategy. And this is just a 3-hour split. As I did mention at the beginning of the course, you should be engaging for at least 3 hours a day. So this is the strategy I actually used to getting to that 1,000 followers in 30 days. So I know for a fact this one works. The other 2 definitely work because they have been used by other creators and they have been proven. But this one is a phenomenal one. I completely am for it because it worked for me. So it will likely work for you as well. But it's basically a 3-hour strategy. So hour number 1. And this is going to consist of outreach to new accounts. So like with strategy number 2, this could be going on to new hashtags and scrolling through those hashtags and commenting on lots of different creators, lots of different posts that have created content for that hashtag. That is reaching out to a new account. Or you can be going on to the followers of big creators, just go onto their following feed, because obviously people have followed them because they like your content. If you post similar content, it's likely that they're going to like your content as well. So you can go onto their following list and engage with content from people on their following list. Or you can go on to people on their comment section. If you want people that highly engage with your content, see which people engage with other people's content, engage with theirs, and if they then follow you, it's likely that they're going to engage with your content. They are the people you want following you because they are engaged followers. But this is all outreach to new accounts. New accounts being key for the first hour. So moving on to hour number 2, and this is going to be engaging with people that you already follow. So people that are showing up in your feed. Now, it's important to keep relationships with people that you are already following, with people that are already engaging with your content, because it's no good having someone that just engages with your content for a week, unfollows you, or then just stops engaging. If you found someone that's a loyal follower, a loyal fan, you want to keep it that way. So you need to make sure that you continue to engage with their content to keep them engaging with yours. And this is what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's all about building relationships. The more you can build that relationship with someone, the more likely they are to become a friend. Friends are people you want on social. The key is in the name. You have to be social on social media. So the more people that you can make friends with, the more likely you are going to have that loyal follower base and people that engage with your content on a daily basis. If you're posting daily like you should be, then you want to have people that do engage with you daily to maximize that return on your content. Because if you've got high engagement, that bodes well with the algorithm, and then the algorithm is going to push your content out to a wider group of people. You get increased growth in your audience. All one big cycle, works really well for you as a creator, and that's all because you have built a really loyal follower base with your followers. So you need to make sure that you are re-engaging with people that already engage with your content. So make sure you spend at least 1 hour a day also engaging people within your feed. So now we have done 1 hour outreaching to new individuals, and then with hour 2, we are engaging with individuals that we have already built relationships with because we want to maintain those relationships. So now we have done 2 hours. In hour number 3, you are going to be responding. So within hours number 1 and 2, you are going to be getting a lot of responses. When you are engaging with a new audience, you may have been asking these people questions. They've responded, you might need to respond back. If you have been engaging with people in your feeds, again, you might have put a question, they might have asked you something back, you respond. You might have DMs. This is where you respond in the DMs. DMs are everything, especially if you've got a product or service. This is where you can actually begin to sell things. I could probably make another course on its own on selling in the DMs, but you want to actually build those relationships in the DMs, so you don't want to just be engaging with people. If you've got a follower that consistently engages with your content on a daily basis, reach out to them on DM. When you reach out to them on DM, you can learn more about them as an individual. That will then, in turn, make them more likely to become that loyal fan, and that engagement will continue. So you need to be making sure that you are responding to your DMs on a daily basis, answering those questions, finding more about your followers, and just building those relationships. And then another thing I also do in this responding stage is respond to people's stories. Stories are a huge part of Instagram nowadays. Instagram are constantly testing different ways of presenting stories in your feed. For example, at the moment they're testing 2 separate columns, not just the one like you may be used to. So the fact that Instagram are actually testing 2 columns and taking up almost half your screen with a story feed just shows how important they are to the platform. So you need to be using them as a creator, but you also need to be responding to stories with your engagement strategy. In turn, when you respond, obviously that sends the response as a DM. The DM is where you build the relationship with the individual, like I've just mentioned, and then you can continue thereon. So that rounds up the 3-hour engagement strategy. So just to quickly recap, hour number 1 is outreach to new accounts. Hour number 2 is outreach to accounts you already follow. And then hour number 3 is all about responding. Now, that does wrap up today's video on my 3 favourite Instagram engagement strategies. Now, if you did enjoy the video, I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button and turned on post notifications. That way you will never miss a video when I upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. That is just the one ask I have from you guys. As you can see, I'm a very new creator here on YouTube, so every little helps when it comes to that subscribe, that like and that post notification. Now, this video is a part of my Social Media Marketing School podcast series. This is just the video version of the episode. If you did enjoy the video, obviously you want to listen to the audio. The audio does actually come out a couple of days earlier than the video episode. So you can find Social Media Marketing School on Apple, Google, Spotify, pretty much any podcast platform. I'll leave the links in the description so you can find it pretty easy. But go and subscribe over there if you want to consume this content a couple of days earlier, because that is where you will find it. But I just want to finish off by saying, if you did make it to this point in the video, thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next one.